Well, guys, we're here at Bayless Brewing. Right next door is a wineology. It looks like we're crossing Bissonnette in Houston. It's only about 150 degrees outside, so waiting for some cars to get by and then cross Bissonnette and get on in and check this thing out. We've been here before, probably a couple of years ago, probably right after COVID or maybe during COVID. But nice little brewery, small downtown area, right next to Rice Village. You don't want to drink a lot before you cross the street right here because there's a very busy street. But nevertheless, let's go in and check it out. August, it's about 120 degrees outside. Realistically, it's probably 104, and it is really hot. However, we're drinking some great Saison. These guys make a wonderful beer. We'll get into that in a minute. Let's talk about Houston. So I've lived here in Houston for probably 50 years, maybe a little longer actually, and pretty much always on the west side of Houston, out in the suburbs. And when you think about Houston, you think about the suburbs, you think about a big city, you think about 5 million people, you think about a lot of things. But so we started our adventure in West Houston, and we kind of went to a let's call it a suburb brewery today. Catering to more of a outside crowd. And we came into town and we stopped off here. And we've been here before. This is probably, by the way, this brewery has been here for, I think, about 6 years. Husband and wife team, love dogs. The reason they named it, the brewery name, is that Bailey and Jameson. That's their dog's name, Bailey and Jameson. So we bought a little anniversary glass, 2022. The vibe out here is, when you're talking about Houston, you come to Houston, you visit Houston, out in the suburbs, Katy, Sugar Land, Clear Lake, the Woodlands. It's different. It's much different. It's different because of the fact that it's not as a city, it's more of a community. When you come into the city, it's also a community. It's very hyper-local. So this brewery itself was in an old garage back in the early 1960s, maybe like 1950s, late 1950s. It reminds us of some of the stuff in Austin that we go to, that we see an old garage, 2 garage doors over there that you see. You drive up, you get your car serviced, you go into the little area there and you get your payment and so on and so forth. Husband and wife team got together and said, look, you know what? We need a locals place. So if you pan over there, you see some houses, you see restaurants, you see a kid's preschool right over there. We live in the city of Katy, and the Katy district is way west Houston. It's an individual bubble, and it's a great area, don't get me wrong, but it is a different vibe than inside the city of Houston. Again, I've lived here for 50 years, over 50 years. And it's a city that has a lot to offer. I think Houston is underrated from the standpoint of saying, hey, look, we've got museums, we've got great restaurants, we've got, obviously in Texas, we've got the Astros, which is my hat. We've got the Dynamo, we've got every sports thing you can possibly imagine, and great breweries like this brewery here. So if you're visiting the city of Houston, if you want to visit the city of Houston, stay inside the city, that's great. We have fantastic breweries on the outskirts. We have fantastic breweries on the inside of Houston itself. All around, it's a community vibe. It's starting to be what I call hyper-local. It's starting to be to where you're in the community, whether it's Montrose, whether it's West University, whether it's Rice Village, whether it's Katy, whether it's Sugar Land. People are becoming more localized in the city of Houston. Is that good, bad? I don't know. But what I've seen is that as people become more localized, they patronize, as this area here, their overall proprietorship. They get to know the owners, they get to know the bar staff, they get to know the waiters, the waitresses, and the cooks, and so on and so forth. So don't discount Houston because it's just a massive city. I think we're up to 5.5 million people, maybe even 6. But when you come into the city versus outside the city, the reality is that you're really going to enjoy both aspects, either inside the city in a more hyper-local brewery type pub, getting to know the beers, getting to know the owners, getting to know the neighborhood. as opposed to going outside the city, whether it be Sugarland or Katy or Woodlands or whatever. It's a different vibe. Not that that's bad, good, or indifferent. It's really a great experience to experience both. So that's that. Let's talk about the brewery. Husband and wife team, they love dogs. We have some video up there. We have some shots that we're going to show you. They got together. They both have professional jobs. They really love what they do. And quite honestly, the beer is really good. Obviously, it's hot outside. We came outside because it's a small place. Probably about 50 or 75 people max is what they can actually handle. Fall, winter, spring, it would be a great place to come. Summertime, definitely sit inside. As I said, we're sitting outside. It's 104, 103 degrees. Not a big deal, but at the end of the day, the beer offsets the overall sitting outside. I'm drinking a Saison, which is a wonderful summer, easy drinking, low ABV, obviously low IBU beer itself. This is a locals place. I can't say it better than that. People riding their bikes up here, people driving their cars, and just probably 1 or 2 miles. I saw a mom, dad, daughter in here earlier with their dogs. It is a really eclectic locals place. If you're looking for a really nice place to visit in Houston, now this is in Houston, we are in Houston itself, this is a great place to come for sure. Easy going, they've got a little food stand over there that it seems to be serving tacos and burgers and whatnot. Really nice place to come. The overall beer, everything we've tried, I had a honey ale, I had a lager, I had a pilsner, and of course I'm drinking the Saison now. Everything I've tried has been absolutely outstanding. Obviously, barrel-aged stuff's not even in the question right now. It's way too hot to even do that. But definitely try to come to this brewery if you're in the area. Highly recommend it. Sit inside, enjoy it during the summer. Sit outside, enjoy it during the fall, winter, and spring. You're right on Bissonnette, which is a great street, and you're not terribly far from town. So if you're staying in Houston, come out here. If you're in the burbs and you live here in Houston, definitely come out here and try this place too, because it's not a very far drive and it is a different feel altogether. Cheers.